to this point, so 11:04 a.m. on Tuesday. There are no changes to report in that respect. This game is a sellout. To minimize the possibility of scams and counterfeit tickets, we do encourage fans that are still seeking tickets on the secondary market to use Ticketmaster, which is Clemson's official secondary ticket marketplace. And also, we want to encourage fans, in addition to traveling safe, be early and be loud. ABC is going to have live coverage of the grandest entrance in college football, so we want to make sure all of our fans know and have the ability to get into the stadium early enough to be a part of that. So, as always, we'll start with comments from the head coach before we go to questions in the room and finishing up with questions virtually. So, Coach, when you're ready, take it away.
I appreciate it, Ross. So, first of all, this is Paul Journey week for us, and so we're excited about everything that's going on in our building and on campus and throughout our athletic department when it concerns Paul Journey. Kind of a daily focus each and every day, and we're going to have a big Paul Journey appreciation dinner on Thursday night, and our 3 football players that are going into the Hall of Fame this week will be there: Dwayne Allen, Daquan, and Jacoby Ford. And really exciting, especially for me personally, to have been around here long enough now to have some guys going in the Hall of Fame. So that's pretty cool, and so deserving. And Dwayne will speak at that on Thursday night. So our Paul Journey program it's the model program, student athlete development and player relations program in the country. And lots of people are trying to model that, and it's something we've been doing for 13 plus years here with Jeff Davis, and as the architect, and really started it when I got the job as an interim. I went and got him and next door and said, hey, here's kind of my vision, and man, we've been going ever since, and man, he's done an amazing job. The pillars are striped and see you in life in 5th quarter, and then what we call overtime. And striped is all about personal growth. Our see you in life is about life skills and all of our community service that we participate in. 5th quarter is about our career and professional development. You hear about our micro internships and all those things, and service trips abroad. And then overtime is about our former player engagement and their development, after they're gone from here. And bottom line, Paul Journey is, you hear this people say all the time, we're trying to get them ready for life after football, and that is not the case. Life is happening right now during football, and so it's about preparing them for right now and equipping them. And so it's a unbelievable program, something we're very, very proud of. We're trying to endow. I think we've raised about $6 million. I think we need $11 million to get it fully endowed. So a wonderful program. And again, this whole week is something that we highlight. And you look, all of the Paul Journey. I think we've had 109 Paul Journey ambassadors that have come through this program. Several of them are captains for their NFL team now. So a lot of good things, and we'll highlight those all throughout the week on social media as well. So hopefully y'all will see that, and it'll be a fun week. But as far as this game, I mean, this is what a top 10 game should look like. You got 2 really talented teams, very, very experienced football team that we're getting ready to play in NC State. Just both sides. Again, similar to last week as far as just veteran leadership. They got a bunch of guys that have played a lot of ball, been very successful. They're a really good football team, very well coached. Dave's done an amazing job, putting this group together. Some of them seem like they've been there forever. They've gotten Peyton back, Wilson back on defense, and he is one of the best players in the country to go right along with what was already a great defense. So I think he's outstanding. But, you look at their offense, I mean, they're complete. They got a really good offensive line that's played a lot of football, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I mean, Leary is special. I mean, he's a pro. This league this year is unbelievable when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, truly is. And it seems like we play every one of them. But there's a lot of guys that fans of the ACC need to enjoy watching, because you got a lot of guys that are going to be playing on Sunday coming out of this league, and Leary's one of them. He is a great football player, really understands the game. They've got 2 hard-nosed downhill backs that flat out can tote the rock in 0 and 3. Excellent receivers, 88, 5, 15, 11. I mean, they've all made plays. 5 is their guy as far as a guy they're gonna script into all their touches, whether it be handing him the ball, screening the ball. He's even thrown the ball a few times. So he's a really good football player, very savvy, a big RPO guy. They're physical in the run game. Going to run a lot of counter, a lot of stretch, and then they're going to take a million shots. They're going to push the ball down the field. So big challenge from an offensive standpoint, getting ready for them, and then defensively, they're complete. I mean, they're complete. They've got really good players at all 3 levels. They're very confident in their scheme and what they do. They understand their scheme very well. They put their players in position to be successful, but very physical. These 3 linebackers are outstanding. I mean, 32 and 1 are all conference guys. And again, now you throw 11 back out on the field who unfortunately couldn't play last year. He's a special player, very aggressive as far as how they fit the backers in their scheme. They always got 4 or 5 guys coming from somewhere, and then very disciplined on the back end. So not giving up a lot of points, stingy group just like they were last year, and an aggressive group, dangerous in the return game as well. So again, a complete team and a top 10 matchup. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're excited about being at home. Excited about having an awesome crowd. Hopefully everybody will get there early and be loud, and we'll have no idea what the weather's going to be like. Sounds like it's going to be wet and all that, but it'll be wet for both sides. So we'll have to find a way. That's what it's all about. Every week in college football is a season of its own, and that's just kind of how you have to look at it. And you just put everything you got into that season, and then if you wake up on Sunday, you go again, and until there's no more games left, and then you see how it all played out. But a great opportunity for us. They're just like last week. We want the same thing. I think the only undefeated teams left in our league I think we're all in the same division. I think that's right. Both teams want the same thing. Both teams want to stay in control of their destiny, and this game will provide that opportunity. With that, I'll take your questions.
Coach, NC State plays a lot of dime coverage in their secondary. What kind of a different challenge does that present for DJ?
Well, there are a lot of zone. You got to be very patient. They force you to be very patient in how they play structurally. They will pressure you. The biggest thing is identifying them, because they're with the way they play their front and their star player, in the middle there, you have to be on the same page communication-wise as far as, where they're coming from and making sure that your OL and everybody's tied together. And then, a lot of zone pressures, where they've got guys dropping, drop-ins, they'll drop D tackles. And so understanding your throwing windows and again, just it's not always as clean, when you line up and play a team that's going to play a bunch of man coverage on you. This is a team that's a little more multiple in what they do coverage-wise. And again, they'll give up some things underneath, but you gotta be disciplined enough to put the drives together. And first of all, you got to be physical enough up front, to hold up, because it's a very physical group. And then again, they will zone pressure you to death, and you got to be on the same page communication-wise.
Dabo, Clemson has kind of dominated this series under you in terms of wins and losses. But do you think State's recent success has kind of re-energized this rivalry a little bit?
I mean, I think they've always been good. We've won a lot of games, but they've all been tough games. I think NC State's always been a really tough opponent. Ever since I've been at Clemson. So it's be my, I guess it's my 20th year, but I don't think we didn't play them in COVID, did we? I think they weren't. So it's my 19th time to play them, and as far back as I can remember. Phillip Rivers was the quarterback when I came in here in 2003. So as far back as I can remember, they've always been tough. It's always, I mean, we've had some games, a few here or there that maybe, got out of hand, if you will, but most of them have been really hard fought, games, and I'm sure this will be the same.
Coach,
Looking at film with TJ at this point, is there, and the improvement that he's made as the year's gone on, are there one or two things that jump off at you that you see now that it's like, wow, he really made a leap, either pre-snap or after the snap?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is confidence. I mean, he's just in a different. He's just playing with a lot of joy. I mean, he's very confident, and that's the first thing that jumps out. He wasn't very confident last year. He got in a bad spot. He's in a good space there, and then just what he's done, with his legs. I mean, that's the biggest change. I mean, just his confidence in running the football, but also just creating and extending plays, and then his accuracy. But I think that's just a reflection of just his confidence. I think that's, if you're not very confident, you're probably not going to be very accurate. And now he's just at a very good spot from a confidence standpoint, and his accuracy's been a lot better. And then the guys around him have been better, and it's just kind of all come together well. He's much more confident with the guys up front. I think they're doing a good job for him. But he's again, 4 games. I mean, working hard every week to just stay consistent, and so far he's been able to do that.
Coach, you have to have a short memory at corner. We spoke with Nate Wiggins yesterday. It seemed like he was as confident as ever in his abilities. You feel like those corners have really put the last game behind them?
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to. I mean, that's what a windshield mentality is all about, right? You can't worry about what happened last week, good or bad. You don't get to carry any points over, and you don't carry any bad plays over either, unless you let it carry over. So you got to move on in this game. I mean, you got to move on. I know. A lot of times, people outside don't move on until you play another game or you win another game or whatever. But when this is what you do, you have to lock in on what's next, and otherwise you're not going to get any better. You have to focus on what's next and learn from what's behind. That's very important. Like, what happened? Let's take ownership of it. Let's learn from it. Let's grow from it, and then let's go apply those lessons. So that's what getting better is all about. And it was a rough night, not just for him, for that whole position. So we've got to be much better for sure, and hopefully these guys will have a little more sense of urgency and be a little more detailed and take a little more ownership of what they got to do to make sure they're ready to execute and to play the technique and the fundamentals that it takes to be successful.
I was going to ask if Malcolm, Sheridan, and Lakuba, if they'll play.
I don't know anything at this point. We're hopeful on all those guys. So we'll just see where they are as we go through the week.
How much of the problems with the corners this past Saturday were a matter of strictly just not turning their heads?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
How much of the problems stem from them just not turning their heads around? Because there's a lot of contact. But
Yeah. We did not play the ball well at all, and we didn't play our technique well. I mean, it's you have one situation, you got to press bail, and you're on top all the time, and then all of a sudden we're staring in the backfield and the guy runs right behind us, and that should never happen. It's a basic technique, but again, we've got to do a better job of coaching it and teaching it. We've got a couple young guys that can really play that we've got to, they're going to get better, and they're going to get better in a hurry, and we'll look back here and down the road, these will be great all-conference type players as they get into the meat of their careers here, and they'll be like, well, they got baptized a little bit as freshmen, but that's just part of it, So we've got to do a better job of teaching them, and they've got to play the ball better. They got to track the ball better. There's a lot of things we got to do better there, but it starts with us as coaches.
Coach, it's kind of been an epidemic across the country with kickers missing very makeable kicks, costing their teams games. Guy like BT Potter just keeps his head down. He's 7 for 7. How much easier does he make your life when it's or 4th and 4, and it's a 52-yard field goal to tie the game.
Yeah, I mean he's a great one. I mean I haven't seen all the kickers. I think he's the best kicker, but I haven't seen them all. But I just know what I see in practice every day, and I mean he's just amazing. You know, he's a complete guy. I mean he can really do it all. He's a great leader too. You know, he's one of the better leaders we've had in here. I mean he's just a committed kid. Came back, you know, for this extra year. This is kind of his COVID year, if you will. He certainly could have, I think, been drafted or certainly be on a team right now. But he really wanted to come back. He had some more goals he wanted to achieve as a kicker. I think he wanted to better position himself for the next level, and so he's taking full advantage of it. But man, we're very, very confident in him. He's done an excellent job, and so has Florenzo. We got a new snapper, new holder, and Flo and Drew have been awesome as well.
Do you alter anything schedule-wise this week, kind of looking ahead to Saturday and weather-wise, trying to plan, or do you just go about keep doing things the way you normally do it?
No, we just normal week, just go about what we need to do, and I mean, you know, if there's something going on, other people worry about that. We gonna get our team ready to play.
Coach, you mentioned number 5 there, Thomas. They lost maybe their best receiver from last year,
Yep.
but Thomas had a really good game against you last year as well.
He's a great player. He's tough. He is a true football player. Does a lot of things. Great returner. Again, just great with the ball in his hands. Makes tough, competitive, contested catches. You know, over the middle. You know, a lot of RPO stuff, and they'll run him in behind the backers and slants and things. And you know, he makes catches downfield. I mean, really, there's really not anything you can't do. Yeah, again, he can throw the ball, but he's a reverse guy. He's a screen guy. I mean, he does it all, and really, really good football player, for sure. One of the better players in this league.
Yeah, well, this is a little off topic, but on the recruiting trail, you guys have had a lot of success in and against Alabama. Just what is that dynamic like for you, recruiting against your alma mater?
I mean, I don't. They're no different than anybody else. I mean, you know, we recruit against whoever. It doesn't matter where I went to school. I mean, that's, you know, Alabama's, you know, they're going to sign the best players every year. I mean, that's just, they've always done that, and we try to sign the best players every year as well. And you know, so when that's your philosophy, you know, you're gonna, and you know, we sign a lot of the best players. They sign a lot of the best players. So as a result, you end up recruiting against each other a lot. But you know, got a lot of respect for Coach Saban. I mean, he does an amazing job. You know, it's not surprising that we get on a lot of the same kids. So I think we're looking for a lot of the same things. But as far as just from a personal standpoint, it's you know, been doing it a long time. You know, so I don't even think about it.
Do you plan on working more with wet balls this week?
Yeah, we'll definitely, you know, have some wet ball drills, you know, quarterbacks, running backs, snappers, punt catchers, you name it. You know, we'll deal with punters, everybody that handles the ball. We'll have to make sure we got some good work on that this week. And we do that, you know, a good bit, you know, throughout the year, but be a big emphasis this week.
And with the ball being so wet, do you maybe potentially plan on giving more touches to your running backs this week?
Well, I mean, you know, it depends on if it's 50-mile-an-hour wind or something. DJ's got a good arm, but I don't know how good. I don't know if it's that good. So I don't know if anybody's going to set any passing records if you get a situation like that. So you got to find a way. You know, you got to find a way to win the game, regardless of what the elements are. You know, so if it's run it 70 times or throw it 70 times, you just try to find a way each and every week. And as I said earlier, then you get ready for the next one.
Has anyone joked about building a wind tunnel here in the building this week?
No, not that I've heard of.
Coach, you mentioned it, 4 different teams in the Atlantic Division undefeated. A lot of people talked about your non-conference schedule and, you know, Notre Dame having a rough season, but this Atlantic Division, what Syracuse is doing, Florida State bouncing back, it's one of the toughest divisions in the country, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I don't know why people talk about our non-conference. I mean, we're playing, we've played 10 Power Fives forever around here. We've played some of the best for a long time, for as long as I can remember. And if somebody's not having a good year, I mean, you can't do anything about it. I mean, you're playing Notre Dame, you're playing South Carolina. You got Notre Dame is Notre Dame, South Carolina is in the SEC, an SEC opponent, so in a rivalry game. So I mean, that's great out of conference. So we play 10. A lot of people don't. A lot of people play like 8, and then they play a bunch of smaller level ones. But we've always played a tough schedule. But our league, man, in our division for sure. I think, and I haven't seen everybody, so it's hard to really truly gauge and comment on it. But I know this: our league is strong, and our division. It's going to be a battle every single week with these quarterbacks, because everybody's got a quarterback, and when you got a quarterback, you got a chance. There's no doubt about it. And this is I'm telling you, a bunch of guys that'll have a chance to play this game for quite a while in our league. So it's exciting. I mean, it really is. And again, you're going to see one of them this week. This kid can really play.
Yeah, well, sometimes when a secondary is struggling, a pass rush can be its best friend. What can you guys be doing to generate more pressure up front?
Yeah, we've generated some pressure. We just some guys we've seen a lot of quick game this year. Guys getting the ball out quick, a lot of screens. But then this past week, just ball came out quick on some press man, and we just did a poor job playing technique. But we got to finish on some too. We had 3 sacks, and we should have had literally at least 2 more where we got him, and we got to finish. Did not. I didn't think we played in totality, as well as we can. We didn't play bad, but as well as we could, because there was a couple plays that I think we could have finished. And then this game last year, I mean, I thought we played really hard, very physical. But it's 7-7 in the, I guess, in third quarter. And we did a poor job on third down defensively, and we did a poor job third down offensively, which really got the time of possession way out of whack. And I thought the latter part of the game, we lost our discipline. I mean, we had some critical penalties. We jumped offside, I think, 4 times, if I remember correctly, in this game, that really, really was costly. We just gotta execute our scheme. Everybody's got to do their job. Nobody's got to do anything extra. Everybody's just got to do their job with the type of effort and technique that's required.
What's your assessment of Root so far?
Good. He's doing good. He's proud of Root. He's got a little bit of a bum hand, but he's had a nice year for us. He's doing a good job after 4 games. He's a positive, heading in the right direction. Long way to go.
Those inside backers had a kind of respect to following Skowski and Spector. What's your assessment of how that's evolved so far?
Good. I mean, Trenton's learning every week. I mean, he's still, he doesn't have the experience of Balin or Skowski as far as the some of the nuances of the position, but he covers up for some of that. I mean, with just his effort, his speed, his athleticism, and he's learning every single week. As far as his eye discipline and fits and just keys and things like that. He's a great player. I mean, he flies around. You see him. Sometimes he makes some mistakes, and again, he's so fast and so athletic. He covers up for it. And then Trotter he's really good. He's really, really good. Very pleased with all of our backers. I mean, Barrett, Carter, Simpson, Trotter. That's a really good group. We just got to clean up some things on the edges in our coverage, and if we can tighten that up, we'll be fine.
You got Tyler Davis back on Saturday. He had a really good game. I think you expect to get Xavier Thomas back this Saturday. How excited is he about finally getting to see the field?
Well, that's a leading question. Man, that's what a veteran move right there. Leading, is that what y'all call leading question? It's a good one though. Tyler Davis was awesome. I mean, he was MVP. I mean, you know, we hadn't had him for a couple games, and really we haven't had our D-line. I mean, as I said coming into this, I really felt like our D-line was, you know, had the depth of that 14 group. You know, had the star power of that 8, but the depth, you know, and it's a good thing because we've needed it. I mean, we hadn't had Xavier Thomas yet. You know, Tyler Davis played in the first game, missed 2 games. Brzee, you know, obviously had to miss. Trey Williams has had to miss, and so it's been kind of guys in and out. But our depth has won the day. I mean, it's been really, really good to see what I thought we had. I mean, guys, Capehart, that kid is really coming. Peyton Page is coming. When Trey has been available, Trey has shown that, man, he can really be a player. Rook is what we thought he was. You know, getting Brian back going, you know, I think he had a lot on him, obviously, and did some good things, but, you know, could tell he hadn't really practiced a lot and was a little rusty. So getting him back, you know, going full throttle. Tyler Davis missing 2 games. So we really haven't been full group. And so, you know, we'll see on Xavier. I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not, but he's close. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks, and he is close. So hopefully he'll be able to go. But we do have a long season ahead, and at some point we'll have them all, you know, which we haven't had in 4 games. We've not had all guys available at that position. But our depth has been a blessing because if we didn't have it, it'd been a different story for us. You know, so really thankful that we got the guys we got at that position, and excited to get X back whenever he's back.
Expect Trey to be back this week?
I do expect Trey to be back. You know, he's been just kind of nursing a little inflammation, and we just really needed to settle it down. So we just didn't want it to be something that carries out throughout the season. But when he's been able to play, he's been a factor as well. So we do expect him back.
I guess in terms of some of those plays Tyler was able to make down the stretch, do you think it's the rotation and how fresh he was and some of those D tackles are that allows him to make those?
Well, I think definitely being able to have depth like that to where, you know, you can manage the snaps a little bit is a definite factor for sure. You know, especially because most offensive lines, you know, in a game like that, you don't have a huge rotation. But I mean, just relentless effort, great technique, and just you know, that was a great tape for him. I mean, he did a lot of good things that you noticed, but a lot of good things that you probably don't notice that are factors as well. So I'm really proud of TD and, you know, where he is right now. Good to get him back going healthy. You know, sitting him those 2 games was what he needed to really kind of get himself to, again, because he would have kept playing, and we just didn't want it to linger around. So, you know, glad to get him back, and we're going to need him to have another great one this week.
Was Justin Maskell starting over Miles last week? Was that just a better week of practice?
Yeah, he just played better. He just graded better. I mean, you know, as I've told y'all, we feel like we got 4 starters at the position. You know, really 3 right now because X has been out. But we felt like coming in the year we had 4 starters, and Miles played a lot better this past week, which was good. But I mean, not that he's played bad. Maskell played great against La Tech. I mean, he had a great game. Just played better, and so that's it.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom?
Hey, Gabo, this is Anna Adams. Barrett Carter seemed to draw the slot a lot, I guess, with some of the injuries on Saturday. Just how did it seem like he performed really well in coverage?
Barrett's been one of our best players. 4 games, one of the most consistent players on the field. Really, really proud of him. He's been really good. You know, very few mistakes. You know, very consistent. His effort is tremendous. He's very detailed in his preparation, and you know, one of the best players on this team. You know, all-around players. I mean, just done a fantastic job for us. Very, very bright spot on our team right now.
Anyone else?
Is there anything? Oh, we're still on Zoom.
No, you go ahead there.
Is there anything schematically Brandon has brought to this offense so far
Yeah, oh yeah. He's done a great job. Just how he's organized things, how he's organized the meetings. I mean, he's put his stamp on it, and he's. I think the biggest thing is just personnel. We've been able to get the type of personnel that we need, and he's done a great job. I think scheming up in our run game. Done a great job scheming up some play action things, and just basic pass concepts, and he's done a lot of good things, a bunch of good things. I mean, we've scored a bunch of points, which is, I guess he told me that the other day that I'd have lost money on that. I'd have never guessed that after 4 games, second most points since 1900. I would have never thought that, but I'd say that's a far cry from where we were this time last year after 4 games. That's for sure. So heading in the right direction.
Coach, after last game, we talked about the evolution of your offense and how proud you were of them. What's the key and emphasis for the defense, namely the secondary, to sort of have hear that evolution in such a big game come Saturday?
Just do your job. Do your job. Know your job. Do your job with the effort and technique and details it requires. And that's just the way it is. I mean, that's the difference in offense and defense. Offense, you can have tackle for loss, a sack. You can have 9 guys do their job and 2 not do their job, and it's probably a bad play, but you can still punt the ball, right? Defense, it usually leads to points. And so, goes back to some of these guys and their preparation and how they prepare, when we're not around, and just doing their job, play in and play out, communication, make sure you know your job, know the technique, and apply it. Eyes on the right, don't make stuff up. Don't try to do things that you're not being coached to do, because that's when you get in trouble defensively, and that's been a sign of some of the young guys, some of the immaturity that we've had at a couple of spots. When that has cost us. But we're doing a lot of good things, but we've got to get better there for sure. That's been a problem.
You mentioned third downs and the growth from last year to this year. You don't go 16 to 23 on the road on third downs by accident. Is there something you can pinpoint as to the main reason why you guys seem more confident and able to execute this year?
Better up front, better quarterback play, better skill players. It's not complicated. It's really not. I wish I could tell you it was some magic. It ain't. We're just better up front. We're not giving up a lot of sacks. We're much more experienced, and got better personnel. And our quarterback's playing great. I mean, he's not perfect, but he's just playing much better. And then we're making plays, because of that. So. Just a better group on the field, all the way around, and a more confident group.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to ask real quick. I know red zone efficiency has been really key so far this season, and NC State has actually given up a lot of touchdowns in the red zone. So how do you think continuing your red zone efficiency will be key going against NC State?
Well, Street and the staff has done a great job, I think, game planning each week as far as just, all the field zones and situational football. I think he's really done a great job there. But that was an emphasis big time because, all the things we weren't good at last year, we're so far we're better. We couldn't score. Well, we're scoring better. We were terrible on third down. Well, we're one of the better teams. We weren't good in the red zone. We're much better in the red zone. We're number 1 in the country, so we're doing a lot of good things, but it's been a big emphasis. And then again, just being more confident in all those areas. So it'll be key. I mean, some of those things, they hadn't had many people probably get in the red zone, first of all. I don't know how many teams have got down there. So I'm not sure. You can find out how many times the offenses have got down there. So only 5. Well, there you go. So we probably need a bigger sample size before we probably criticize them. Maybe they're not ranked as high in the red zone, but again, if you've only had 5 trips down there and maybe they scored on 3 of them, you're probably not ranked very high or something. 4. There you go. but they probably need a bigger sample size. But we you know, it'll be a factor for sure in a game like games like this. I mean, it's all those key things that it's 3 or 4 plays. You know, it's turnovers, it's red zone efficiency, it's the battle that it's the field position battle that creates different, you know, situational things throughout the game. It's penalties. You know, those are the things that are critical in games like this. You got 2 really good teams. Both teams want the same thing. They're going to battle. So who makes the plays in the red zone, offensively or defensively, are critical. You know, and they got us twice in the red zone in regulation. They made an unbelievable play. It was 7-7, I guess, out of third quarter, and it was 85. That receiver they had he made I mean, Booth was all over him. It was the perfect throw and the perfect catch for the first touchdown. And then we come back and they RPO'd us, and we really bid on it and played poor technique outside and hit an easy little red zone slant on us for the second touchdown for their 14. So, and then we tied it up. But, you know, but that's key. That's key. And then we get into overtime. They were better than us in the red zone. You know, they had that big catch down there again. We had a critical penalty in the red zone. So games like this, that's a huge factor. So hopefully the statistics will hold up in this game, and they'll be not good accordingly to the stats, and we can still be good.
Demi, number 0 from them, is he the guy that you have to kind of know where he is?
The running back, which one? Which 0? There's 2 of them. They got zeros everywhere. On the one on offense, yeah, he's explosive. He's a really good player. He's probably leads them in explosive plays right now. I mean, he's a tough player. He made a couple plays. He made a couple runs against East Carolina. I think everybody on the field hit him. I think all 11 guys hit him, and somehow or another he kept going, ended up on about the 2-yard line. He's a tough kid, and so is 3. I mean, they're really good players. Very tough, downhill, physical kids.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.